the Kalakar Katta, which is there, all of you must have gone there.
Yeah.
Still, I think we are much behind than countries like Singapore, who give a lot of importance and essence to ecology and landscape. So if I look at Pune city, I always think about Swargate bus stand. The EVs, this is my personal opinion that electrical vehicles are an alternative mode of transport. And they are not green because you are generating batteries, you are disposing batteries. Salaried employee mat raho, khud ka kaam karo.
That landscape designing is just planting trees. So, hello everyone. Today we are here with Pushkar Peshwa sir, a faculty of Ferguson College, and today we are going to be speaking about landscape design. Hello, good morning, sir.
Thanks for speaking with us.
So let's just directly get into it.
Okay.
So there is this misconception that landscape designing is just planting trees. So what would you say about that, and how do you actually design the space?
So yeah, big misconception that landscape is only about trees and landscape is only about green because landscape has so many colors other than green. So that is what we try to do in this course. So when we introduce landscape design, we tell them that it's basically into two parts. You have to think about hardscapes as well as softscapes. So it's a combination of both, and that is how our approach starts from when we start with this course.
So what is the importance of design theory in this course?
So design theory becomes the basis when you start with landscapes. So there are students coming from different fields who have no idea what landscape is all about. As you asked me in the first question, people think that it's just about trees.
Right.
But we have to tell them about materials, we have to tell them a bit about history, we have to tell them about infrastructure. So there are so many things which are happening along with that. So I think that's the essence of teaching them the theory of design.
So what is it about landscape that makes it both an art as well as a science?
Okay. So see, landscape in pure form, if you talk about softscape, let's say trees, you must have seen Mughal gardens, for example.
Yes.
So those have those shapes given to the plants. So that's called as topiary work. So I think that is one art form probably which is started from. But even if you look at the ancient Indian architecture, you'll see a lot of mango leaves, you see amalak on the temples. So all that is again a part of landscape.
Right.
So it has derived into an art form, and so it goes hand in hand now. In terms of modern landscapes, I think you have a lot of art coming in the form of signages, in the form of artifacts, in the form of statues, so many things which are coming in outdoor spaces, which is again a part of landscape.
Yeah. So speaking about signages and everything, so do you think landscape is something we just look at, or do you believe that it is an entire experience?
100% entire experience. There would be landscapes which you only look at or you only feel. For example, I'll give just an example. There used to be it's still a Osho commune in, you must have seen that in Koregaon Park. So it's a very beautiful Japanese landscape. And at times when you enter that garden, you do not see water, but you just listen to the water. So that's an experience. Okay, so it's sometimes landscape you can only see, only hear. But overall, if you look at that ambience, it's something that you have to experience thoroughly.
Yeah. So speaking about the experience, what's the one thing about landscape जो easy दिखती है पर है नहीं?
Easy दिखती है वो है नहीं.
है नहीं.
Selection of plants.
Oh.
Very difficult. Because that really depends on how the plant is going to mature and how that whole landscape is going to look at totally. Let's say you have to think about it maybe after 15 years. Sometimes the landscape actually matures in that time when you actually feel like, okay, you have done the correct job.
So how does designing outdoor spaces actually impact community well-being?
So there's, I think, a very strong connection between community well-being, community spaces and outdoor spaces.
Right.
So giving an example of, we have the Chitrakar, the Kalakar Katta, which is there. All of you must have gone there.
Yeah.
I think it's a very vibrant space, and many times there was a lot of discussion whether that should continue there or not continue there. I think you need such spaces.
Right.
The same thing happens with the newly done walkways on Ferguson College Road, Gokhale Rasta, or on Jangli Maharaj Road, where the spaces, the footpaths themselves are acting as community spaces. I think there's a big role that landscapes plays in that, and we need so many more in Pune city.
Right. So how do students make sure that with studying they also take care and incorporate these small factors, because that is something that comes with a lot of studying and experience.
Correct.
So what are the steps that go into it?
So for them, we have to give them live case studies. For example, you have to take them to site and show them what is actually happening. We have to take a lot of we start showing them some video clips
Yeah.
on the screens. So the projects which are not here, there are within India, outside India, we show them those clips so that they understand where we are coming from, and we have to tell them that what is right, what is wrong, and how the design has been approached.
Right.
So I think that forms a very important part of the learning process.
So, sir, speaking about outside of India, what is the difference between landscape design in India and globally?
I think in India, a few years back, landscape was always given a back seat. Because अगर पैसे बच रहे हैं ना तो landscape करो. That attitude was there. Now I think it has changed to a large extent because people have started thinking about master planning.
You're right.
Still, I think we are much behind than countries like Singapore, who give a lot of importance and essence to ecology and landscape.
Right.
I think it will take time for us to be there, but I think we're in the right direction to go there.
Right. So, speaking about this, sir, do you think freelancers can actually survive in this field?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think freelancers are the best person to survive in this field because this is like an evolution process. You have a lot of exhibitions, you have a lot of new materials which are coming up, new discoveries of plantations also. And I think freelancers get the maximum freedom to do as they want. Design, it's a design field. So I think freelancers have a lot of scope in this.
Yeah. Right. So, sir, do you think the case studies of real world disasters are actually a very good way to learn?
Yeah, they are. Because see, disaster I think is a big word to use. In case of landscape, I think we are talking about smaller disasters. You can see that. For example, I'll give a very small example how we teach students that when you're climbing a staircase and you have all steps of different heights, you tend to trip. So that is the importance that even these small staircases and steps are going to create in the field of landscape.
Right.
So I think we have to learn from that.
So, sir, what is it that specifically made you choose landscape?
See, I'm an architect myself and I have always loved studying about plants. Because architects many times are not interested in plantations and landscapes. But being an architect, I knew about materials, I had a love of plants, I like to grow plants,
Yeah.
I like to nurture them.
Yeah.
So I think that took me to this level in which I thought that I should give my knowledge to the next generation also.
Yeah. So, sir, if you could redesign a very famous landscape, which one would it be?
Very famous landscape
Yeah.
or space or what is it?
Anything, space, landscape.
So if I look at Pune city, I always think about Swargate bus stand. I don't feel like redesigning the bus stand in that sense. I feel that the bus stand needs to move out of the city because you should have the last mile connectivity from there. And I would design a huge green space in place of the Swargate bus stand because that is something that is missing in that area.
What's one green trend that you see online that's not actually green? Have you ever seen any trends online?
EVs. So EVs, this is my personal opinion that electrical vehicles are an alternative mode of transport. And they are not green because you are generating batteries, you are disposing batteries, you are creating the vehicle which is running on the road. So I think it is just a probably an alternative fuel like we have CNG. It's something like that, not green.
Yeah.
Another example, doing green buildings. Many times people are doing glass buildings and then calling them green. So glass building cannot be green.
So, okay. So, coming to the real world practicality of landscape, how do students make sure that they are sourcing good quality material?
So for that, I think, see, even after so many years, we are all humans, we tend to go wrong.
Yeah.
Even in selection of whatever materials. Even today I do a project,
Yeah.
I will always find faults with myself about what went wrong and what did I do wrong and what was my selection.
Yeah.
So I think that is something you learn from experience.
Right.
And to some extent we can teach them what is right and what is wrong.
Right.
But going beyond that point, especially when they are trying to take plantation from different nurseries, they are trying to take new materials which are coming in the market, I think it's more like testing and figuring it out whether something is wrong or right.
So, sir, what's one mistake you made early on in your career, or maybe one mistake you want students not to repeat?
I started freelancing too late.
Oh.
So yeah, that is what I tell my daughters, that
Yeah.
salaried employee mat raho, khud ka kaam karo. For you also.
Yes. So, if someone does not want to do freelancing, so what are the industry trends that are going on in the landscape sector right now?
So many of our students right now, they are also working with certain big firms.
Yeah.
See, the the importance of working with a big firm to start with is that you as a freelancer cannot get a huge scale project to start with.
Yeah, right.
So it's very important to work in a big firm on a big project so you understand the complexities of it.
yeah.
So there are students who are working with companies who are designing landscape. There are students who are working with IT companies who have to manage their landscapes. There are students who are working with nursery setups right now. So there are different fields in which students are working because we have got a lot of students from the interior background also. Students who have done the agriculture also. So we have a complex mix of students also.
Okay.
So they are getting involved into different areas. And as I said, landscape is getting a lot of importance in master plan projects also now. So furniture design hai, outdoor spaces design hai. So they are getting involved in that also now.
Right. Okay. So what's one thing about the actual designing part of it that's very frustrating?
Sometimes the design you like of the 3 options you do for a client is rejected by the client without reason. Yeah, that's very frustrating
Okay. So how do
because you know that it's going to work out the best.
yeah
And
yeah. So how do students actually deal with clients like these?
so there are certain things that you know as a freelancer you just have to leave because everything cannot be the way you want.
Right.
So you try your best to do it.
Hmm.
And one very important thing, one of my mentors had always told me that when you put up 2 or 3 options in the front of a client
Yeah.
and any option gets selected, it has to be a workable option and it has to be an acceptable option. So don't give an option just for the sake of giving a third option. Always see to it that all options work, all options are practical, all are feasible. And of course, you will like one of them,
Yeah.
but you have to work even if you don't like that particular option. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what's one advice you'd give to anyone who is aspiring to be a landscape designer?
Aspiring to be a landscape designer.
Yeah.
Observation. Start observing. What I tell my students, landscape is changing, it's very dynamic. Every season will have a different landscape.
Right.
So the moment you start observing the landscape, I think that's the best learning that you can have.
Right. So sir, thank you so much for answering all of our questions.
Thank you.
Now it is time for the rapid fire round.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So are you ready for the rapid fire round?
Sir, okay, go on.
Okay. So sir, designing private space versus public space.
I have to choose
Yeah. Choose between.
private space.
Private space. Okay. A plant that speaks to you the most.
Bakul, the
Bakul.
tree.
Oh.
I have a lot of memories of that tree. I love its fragrance. I sometimes tell my students that there are some trees which I have coined this term called silent trees.
Yeah.
Silent trees is something which is not shouting for attention. But you know, it's very subtle. So yeah, Bakul.
If your personality was a landscape design, which one would it be?
A huge shade-giving tree with a lot of birds and bees on it.
Okay. One principle you would never compromise on.
Ethics.
Ethics. So,
Never.
how many species of plants do you know?
Lot.
If you
Not like a botanist, not like a horticulturist. But as an architect, I can say that I will be there in the top 95 to 100% in architects who know about plants. Yes.
Right. So one word for the future of landscape design.
Very, very bright, like the sun.
Yeah. And so the last question would be, what is one of the most underrated plants there is?
Most underrated plant.
Plant. Yeah.
I will tell my personal favorite, which is in Marathi it is called as the Sitecha Ashok. I don't know how many people have seen that plant also. Botanical term is Saraka indica or Saraka. So that is a plant which blooms in this season. It's right now in fragrance.
Right.
And you have heard about it in mythology. ज्याच्या खाली सीता बसली होती.
बरोबर.
ते झाड आहे अशोकाचं झाड.
हो.
So I love that plant and I think people have not used that plant too much. It's such a beautiful tree with fragrant flowers. So I think that is one of the most underrated trees I think in landscape.
Okay. Yes, that was it, sir. Thank you so much for answering all of our questions.
Thank you, Ruta.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks to you and the team
Yes.
organizing this.